Hey, what's up? This is James and Moose from Kill the Lights, and you are listening to an interview on rockflesh.com.
Woo! Excellent, excellent. So, rockflesh.com. Matt back on the trail, as it were, after a while, and tonight we're in Manchester. We're at the Star and Garter, and we're with Kill the Lights with James and Moose. Hello. Hi guys, how you doing?
Good.
Good. Brand new album, Death Melodies, the Death Melodies tour. How's it going so far?
Amazing.
Brilliant. I mean, last night was in
Glasgow.
Was it that good?
Yes, it was
Actually,
that good.
it was
Memorable
incredible.
or too memorable?
Probably the best show, one of the best shows we've ever had.
Really?
Yeah.
So it sold out last night, and just the crowd were. I mean, we had crowd surfing all night long, and it was ridiculous. And there's some big Scottish men, so there's a lot of that going on. So it was good. It was
Plenty of stage divers as well, kind of thing.
Yeah, it was great. It was just a fun. One of those DIY punk, the fun punk shows that we all remember going to, and sweaty and gross and perfect.
They're always like that up there. They're always good. They're always good. It's always, I always think it's pretty difficult because often the tours do come straight from there to here.
Yeah.
It makes it difficult to follow up, but I'm sure Manchester will bring the flame, as it were.
Represent.
Yes, exactly. Cool. So let's talk a little bit about the new album. I think it's fair to say it's a real good cohesive version of your sound. It feels like kind of everything's gelling a lot more. How do you feel it's gone compared to obviously The Sinner, the first EP?
It's just, for us, I think it's kind of the first album that sounds like Kill the Lights. The Sinner was kind of just like us finding our feet, checking shit to the wall, see if it sticks type band. But it was the first album, obviously, with a full band, and it was like each member was all writing their parts, and that's what came out, and that's what we released.
Excellent. Yeah, because I mean, of course, the Sinner you did came out during the pandemic.
What was that? I didn't even notice it.
Well, it was a little thing.
It was a fun time in everyone's life.
For a musician, it was a great time.
But I mean, actually, like kind of coming together as a band during that period, bring that debut album together. It must have almost felt at that time. It must have been difficult thinking to ever be on tour. Certainly, with like a kind of a second album.
Yeah, it was one of those ones where we kind of got the record deal and did the album, and it felt everything was just steaming ahead, and then that happened, and it just completely. I mean, if you're going to try and release an album, that's probably the worst time in the last 100 years to do it. And we did it, so great. So it was really disappointing on the way that we had to roll out, and the things we couldn't do and we couldn't tour behind it. So realistically, this is our first ever headline tour. You know what I mean? And so, like Moose said, we're playing a mix on the tour of both the Sinner album and Death Melodies, just because people want to hear both. But I mean, the fun thing is that people are singing equally to both, right? So it's the bedtime with each, and it's really fun to see people's reactions. So
cool, excellent. I mean that's a little snippet, as it were, into your sound, which I think is fair to say is anthemic choruses. I think it's like kind of choruses that might be on a WWE pay-per-view kind of song, but then very 36 Crazy Fists.
Okay.
Very 36.
Is that what influenced you here? Okay.
Yeah, especially your vocals.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
it's super funny. So you toured with Brock and those guys.
Oh,
right?
I've got many very lack of memories touring with them guys. Shout out to 36.
They do like to go crazy. They
But
do
it's
like to go
interesting.
crazy.
So I my old band played shows with 36 Crazy Fists too, and I do know Brock. And it's funny, I was references. This is funny. This is going back 15 years ago now, but the head of A&R for Roadrunner at the time sent Brock an email saying, "Hey, I've got your little mini me here that sounds like you."
Oh, wow.
It's interesting to see where the reference comes from. But
definitely. But I mean, it's a really exciting time for this kind of I guess really melodic metalcore type thing. The 500, very similar kind of band to you guys. We've done interviews with those, and big fans. And I think it really there seems to be a growing niche as it were, for this kind of act. And as we always say, those people who say metal's dead or whatever, they don't know a thing. But of course, you've indicated a little bit about your kind of previous exploits. Obviously, founder member of Bullet for My Valentine.
I'm better looking.
Always better looking. And Throw the Fight previously.
Yeah.
All the guys in the band.
I'm better looking.
From previous.
I wouldn't. I don't. You said it. You know what I mean?
Well, exactly. That'll tie into a question later.
Good moisturizer.
Really. What's it like? What are the big differences being in this band compared to previous bands that you've been in that you'd like to share with everyone?
That's a really good question.
I can start. You can think about it.
I'll probably stay out on this one.
I think it's one, everybody gets along, you know, but I think two, it's pretty easy, right? And the music comes pretty easy. There really hasn't been any ego to, which is really nice.
Yeah.
There's nobody really that's like got that issue going on. A lot of bands have that, right?
Yeah.
And it's just been easy to work together, you know, from the get-go. Really, it's not been too difficult to we enjoy being around each other and playing music together.
Yeah.
And everybody's a great musician too, so it's really helpful. From my perspective, it's really fun to have a backing crew that it's phenomenal.
They're just awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Suck.
It's one of those, if you're enjoying it, the crowd enjoy it. We always say that if the band aren't quite feeling it, that energy kind of dissipates into the crowd as well.
I mean, when we're writing and recording the album and stuff, it's just fun to be in the same room as the guys, you know what I mean? There's no tension, nothing, it's just like, cool. And it gets done, and it shows it comes through on a record, you know?
Yeah, like I said, we've had a ton of laughs on this one too, you know, so far. We've been on the road, we've been in town for 2 weeks, but on the road for a week now, and like I said, it's been fun.
It needs to be when you're like in such close proximity all the time, you know, obviously. So yeah, I won't ask you to go any further with that question. I mean, the interesting thing you said about being in the same room and writing, I mean, you guys are from all over the place, as it were. Do you still live all different parts of the world? How does that work for writing? Does it mean that touring and writing go together, or?
We write the best stuff when we're together, so we decide, you know, when there's a big chunk of free time, we just get on a plane, me and Jay, and then we'll just fly over.
Yeah.
It's like Minneapolis and do a couple of days, well, 10 to 2 weeks. And then a lot of stuff comes out, and then some of the stuff is like written on internet, file sharing stuff, which is okay, but the best stuff is when we're all together.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it's going to happen after this run as well. We're just going to go over and make a dent in album 3.
And does that help the writing process almost, that you've kind of got that set amount of time, almost that deadline when you guys are kind of coming back here and it's like, right, we do need to focus on it rather than just kind of procrastinating or anything like that? Or is it just actually that it just flows easily anyway?
It doesn't always flow easy. No.
It's always good to keep ahead of yourself, you know?
Yeah. It's one of those things, for this last record we wrote 24 songs, 12 we used. I'm not saying that the other 12 are any not good, but you've got to write a certain amount to get to where you need to be.
Yeah.
So there's going to be some crap ones. I mean, if you look at like Linkin Park, I think I can't remember which album it was for them, but they wrote about 110 songs before they got the 12 songs. But it is what it is, right? I mean, the more you write, the more likely you are going to capture some magic in a bottle or whatever you want to consider it. So
it's good to be able to write more songs than you need, rather than wringing out the last dregs of the notes, as it were, just to get the songs.
I think it's the bands that they put out the 12 songs they wrote.
Oh, we used to back in my other band. That was it.
Yep.
It's time to write an album.
So we've done it.
There you go. The
Off
12
we go. Package it off. Then
It
post
worked out
office.
okay for you though. It worked out okay for him in the last band.
Well, no, like towards the end.
Yeah. Okay.
In some ways it worked well. Some ways it possibly didn't.
Well, the first album was with best albums because we had like 1,000 songs.
Yeah.
We had 10 years to write.
Exactly.
And I think, like I say, a lot of bands, the freshman first ever album they have, they've usually had 5 to 10 years to write it.
Of course.
The second one, it's like I think to me the challenge or the test is can a band beat the first record? And does that show that they have the ability to do that, or was it just
Those initial
one
ideas.
album?
Yeah.
I'd like to think we've moved the needle again on this.
Yeah,
on
definitely.
Death Melodies. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
The
it's
evolution
another level.
of where it's at. So we want to continue stretching and building on that foundation. But I think on this record, and as we did on the first one, we didn't shy away from writing different types of songs too.
Yeah,
There's still
exactly.
Kill the Lights, but you know, there's some mellow stuff on this, some heavy stuff, some really heavy stuff, and some, you know.
It still sounds like it still sounds Kill the Lights song. What do you prefer the most, or put them in order, rank order? Writing, recording, playing live?
Playing live for me, but
Yeah, well, all of them, because I
Yeah.
enjoy the different aspects of each thing, you know.
That's the right answer. You win.
You'll be a pint.
A little bit of everything. Yeah, I suppose some people say that they find the writing aspect quite cathartic, the recording satisfying when it finally does have an emperor, but actually playing those new songs for the first time, it's kind of that culmination of it.
yeah, I mean, for Death Melodies, we wrote those songs, and this tour is the first time we've played those songs on it. You know, what I mean, it's not you know, so it's kind of crazy to have that too. For me, the writing process, sometimes they can have an idea and I can write it in 5 minutes. Other times I'll have to listen to it 120 times before I got it. So to me, that can be frustrating sometimes too, because there's just so much work involved in it to get there, do one song, and then sometimes it's not a good song anyway. You know,
Yeah,
so,
and then it gets used.
yeah. So now I'm glad I did
It's all
that.
part of the process.
Yeah,
all part of the process. Let's do some fun questions. So, if the band was having a biopic, what actors or who would you have playing each of the band members, including yourselves?
Okay.
You can answer for each other if you want.
Who are you gonna be? Who's gonna be you?
No, it's a good thing. Who's the dude who played Scooby-Doo? Not Scooby-Doo, Shaggy. That's Scooby-Doo.
I don't think I mean. It was in Scream as well. Yeah, Scream.
What's the dude name from Tommy? What was that? What was that from?
Oh, Peaky Blinders.
Peaky Blinders. Who's the lead character in Peaky Blinders?
Oh, Cillian Murphy.
Yes,
Cillian Murphy.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, we usually have a Cillian Murphy or a Tom
do you?
Hardy,
Okay.
or usually Jason Statham. Someone usually wants to be Jason
Jim
Statham.
would be the dude of Lord of the Rings. Little dude.
This is what happens if you don't come for the interview.
I got a funny Jason Statham story. I'm not sure I should share it, but
Well,
I was in Val d'Isere, French Alps. I'm going to share it anyway. But we were in the French Alps like 15 years ago, hanging out at a club with my friend who's now married to the lady. But Jason Statham came up and was like, "Do you know who I am?" She goes, "Yeah." And he's like, "Well, shall we?" She goes, "No." So we were like, "See ya." And he's actually quite short. I don't think I'll ever run into him, but if I do,
if you do, he's quite short, so no problems at all. If you were able to add one person to the band, you don't need to kick anyone out, add one person to the band, who would it be and why?
Dave Lombardo from ex-Slayer, because then I could
Just take the heat off you.
yeah, in the bar.
we have a pint.
Yeah.
I don't know if I had anybody. I don't know. Maybe it's somebody who's a cool key, you know, bring some of the
some
different
keys.
keys, and then maybe they can bring a little more sample stuff that, you know, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
I don't have a specific person that would do that.
Yeah. Okay, unlimited budget, but you can only spend it on a stadium tour and the whole stage show.
You've done that already, though, haven't you?
I've
Spent all the money on the stage.
Yeah. Twice.
An amazing video,
Okay.
no budget,
And that's-
or like kind of everything you need for the most fantastically produced album ever. Which one would you go for?
Fantastically produced album, because that would then help everything else. See,
Oh, Logic. That's like that. I'll have a load more.
I don't know.
Like
I'm
GDs.
thinking,
well, if I do this, you can cover yours with the arena thing. We've got both covered.
yeah,
you can say we both
if it's
pick
like
one.
an unlimited budget, I'm going like private jets. I'm
Okay.
going,
Oh.
you know, think of the Merchant Stadium.
Oh, all right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I'll probably.
There's logic with both.
Yeah, I'll go
But you go
stadium.
with that? Go with
Yeah.
that? Yeah. Is there any massive like element of a stage show you'd love to have, like a massive like certain thing at the back, like a backdrop, like an Eddie type thing, or that
I
kind
mean,
of?
I'd like to have somebody. I'd like to incorporate. I mean, I do love some of these cinematography stuff with like the LED
Yeah.
screens and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that too. Yeah, that can look really cool. I think it's interesting because I mean, you take a raw show like this, punk
Yep.
rock show versus that. It takes a ton of the pressure off of the showpiece by having cool imagery going, but I think it's finding that balance too. I mean, one of my most favorite shows of all time was Rage Against the Machine, and they had no backdrop and nothing. It was just a four-piece,
Yeah.
right? So raw, but absolutely phenomenal. So.
Sometimes that's just as impactful, isn't it? Yeah, especially when it's good. Okay, if Kill the Lights was a drink, alcoholic or non-alcoholic, what drink would Kill the Lights be and why?
It would be alcoholic for sure. I don't know, it'd probably be a beer, wouldn't it?
It'd be a Guinness because we're rich and creamy on top.
Yeah. and his lyrics are really dark.
Yeah. Ooh. And the album's kind of like looks like.
Well, the album art colours were
Guinness inspired.
We were drinking Guinness. We were like, "Oh, those colours are incredible."
No, it was.
Seriously?
Yes.
Why our album colours?
There you go. He's got to be Guinness. He's got to be Guinness. Cool. So you kind of hinted that after this tour, you're going to be trying to do a bit more writing. What else have you got planned for this year?
So yeah, I think the plan is to hit the US.
Yep.
So that'd be kind of the plan, and then back kind of in fall, which would be the US water. I can't think of them. I grew up in England. Yeah, I grew up in England my whole life, but then I've been in America too long that I forget all the. Yes, then would be come back to the whether on a support tour or headliner yet, we're not sure yet, but yeah, back to the UK, Europe. So
cool, nice one. Well, thank you very much, James and Moose, for joining us and having a chat with us. Yeah, good luck for the gig tonight. I'm sure you enjoy it. We'll obviously be covering it, photos, review, everything. If you like this interview, obviously like it, subscribe, pop in the comments, all your comments, put which bands you want us to interview next, and get on the website rockflesh.com. So thanks once again, guys, and see you all soon.